Hello everyone. I've got a quite exciting thing to talk about today, but before we dive into that, I do want to just talk about real quick the hurricanes that happened. A lot of you guys asked me an update on that. So we're in Tampa, we're literally right on the water. It's very concerning for people, especially if you're not from Florida. Like, I'm used to hurricanes, but this past one, Milton, was pretty scary, I will say. Helene missed us. Like, we got hit, but we weren't like in a direct line. Like, our dock got completely ruined, but our apartment was pretty much like fine. I think people more up north from us got hit pretty bad, but then like not even like, I think it was like a week later, we heard that there was going to be a tropical storm, and it just grew into this massive thing. I know a lot of you guys probably heard of it, Milton. And it was like at one point a category 5 headed our way. I follow Dennis Phillips, who is a meteorologist that doesn't use like clickbait and all that stuff. He's very informative. He's super smart. Everyone in Tampa loves him. So if you guys are ever dealing with a hurricane, I really recommend him. I'll leave his Instagram down below, but he doesn't use fear to get you to watch his content. Like, he's just super informative, and he's like known for his rules, and rule number 7 is don't panic unless I panic. He doesn't want people to panic, but he also wants to inform people and make sure that they're making the right decisions, and he is just like a really trustworthy source. He's not like a fear-mongering news whatever. So I was following him, and he was getting pretty antsy. I could tell by the time it was going to hit us, it would have went down a few categories, but it still looked like it was coming like right to us. So we ran out. We went to Georgia. We went to my Aunt Beth's house, and we kind of just isolated up there. She's like on this beautiful property. Like, it was really nice, but it was so scary knowing that everyone's gonna get hit, and like every time we pray that it doesn't hit us, like it just means that it's gonna hit another person, which it just feels wrong. But either way, I just knew that this was gonna be pretty bad. Like, I typically don't panic with hurricanes. I'm very calm, and I typically am like okay, but this one I was getting a little worried. We came back after it hit a little bit more south than where we are, which I don't want to say thank God, because those people got hit pretty bad, and there was some devastating, you know, outcomes from that hurricane, which I'll also leave a relief fund and all of that for you guys if you're interested in trying to find ways that you can help. Not just money, but I'll leave there's like an article that you can read about all the ways that you can help. So I'll leave that down below. But we came home and everything looked fine. It actually looked worse when we came home from Helene, which was super interesting. Like, the only thing that was really damaging here was like the trees just blew a lot. Like, the winds were pretty rough, whereas Helene, the water was more damaging. But we had like a thing called reverse surge here, so I thought we were fine, which means that the water, instead of coming up, it was like sucked up by the hurricane. I don't know the science behind it, but we came home and everything was fine. I was feeling pretty good, and then we like walked into our hallway, and it just reeked of like fish so bad. I was like, this isn't good. We walked in and everything looked fine, but it just smelled so bad. It was like super humid in the apartment, and I was like, something's wrong. We walked into the living room, and of course there was water on our floor.
Probably had water over the whole floor.
I had never had hurricane damage ever in my life, so to have something happen inside your apartment, I can only imagine what people go through when there's like absolute flooding and they lose everything. Like, we lost a rug, we're super grateful, but there was an extensive amount of water on the floor, which is kind of scary. And it was also in our bedroom, but it wasn't in Bryson's room or our office, which is kind of in the middle between. So we have like, this is our living room. We have a patio right here, 2 rooms, and then we have our master, and there's another patio there. So it had to do something with like the doors, obviously, but we're trying to salvage our other rug, because I love that rug, but the other rug that I literally just bought is completely ruined. But again, I'll take that. I mean, there's people who have literally lost everything, and it's such an unfortunate situation, but we are very lucky that that's all we got, especially being like literally right on the water. So now that that is out of the way, I'm gonna talk about something a little bit more happy, kind of. Like, I'll talk about it in a sec, okay? I am pregnant. I feel like some of you guys knew. I had an ultrasound picture on my refrigerator. I think some of you guys thought that was from the last pregnancy, which if you are new here, you're not familiar. I actually lost a baby this year actually, and it was around the 14-week mark. So it was a later miscarriage. I wouldn't call it like a late miscarriage, but it was after the first trimester, which is pretty rare, and it was super traumatizing. This is such a blessing. I've had so much fear going into this. Obviously, like, pregnancy after loss is extremely difficult. Like, I'm an emotional roller coaster. I try to like act fine and I'm happy, but there's obviously doubts and fears in my mind, and I'm just a little concerned, obviously. And for me, it's so weird because I'll do the first trimester, and that's typically when people get a little anxious, especially if they've lost before, and then they hit the second trimester and they're like, oh, I'm fine. But for me, I've had issues in my second trimester, even with my son now, Bryson, who was born at 27 weeks 6 days. So the second trimester is always the scariest for me. I wasn't even going to share this news. I was just going to hide it up until, because I don't want anything bad to happen. And for some reason, I feel like if I talk about it or if I acknowledge that it's true, it's like things can go worse. I don't know. I don't know why my mentality is like that. I think it's just the fear and like protecting myself and my emotions and other people when they're emotionally involved. It just becomes an extra like sense of pressure, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just feel like if I hide this, I'm just hiding and letting the fear get to me. I'm just trying my best to enjoy it as much as possible because I deserve that. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure, but like I said, I'm trying my best to just enjoy it, and I do want to talk about it. It's so sad because I'll watch videos of when I was pregnant with Bryson, who was my first child, and obviously I didn't know what could go wrong. There was a sense of like naivety and like innocence in that pregnancy, and so now that I've seen things go wrong, it's almost like I can't enjoy it, and I don't want that to take that away from me, because any woman who's pregnant, no matter for how long, they deserve to be happy and like enjoy however long this baby's with them. It's something that I keep trying to tell myself, but it's obviously very hard, especially after loss. I have just a lot of thoughts going on, and sometimes I'm okay, sometimes I get a little panicked, but I'm just trying my best to be as upbeat and happy as possible. So we have surpassed week 14, which was last week during all of the hurricane chaos and stuff. So I had something else to kind of preoccupy my mind, but obviously that week has been really rough because that's when I lost the last one. And we are officially 15 weeks as of yesterday. So yeah, it's insane. We know the gender, we have a name. I think we're pretty like set on the name. I'm trying my best to just think positive, whereas like my mind wants to just push it away and just pretend like it's not happening. And not that I don't deserve it, but it's like, oh, it didn't happen in the past, what makes you think that you're gonna have it now? I don't know, like my mind goes into these weird things. If you've ever experienced loss and became pregnant after, you'll understand. It's been challenging, I will say, very challenging. This is a big step for me to even announce it. Even just posting this video, I think I'm gonna wait until my appointment, which is Wednesday. I'm filming this on a Monday, and just making sure everything looks fine. It's tough too because last time everything was fine, it was perfect, like nothing happened. It just like spontaneously happened. So that's just like another fear I have. But like I said, going into the second trimester, there's a lot more for me personally that I fear. We're gonna take it one day at a time. I'm gonna document my journey, and whatever happens, happens. And I hope that, you know, I can use this story and my journey to maybe help or comfort another female going through this kind of stuff. Maybe I can give you guys a little bump update, because this is also like, I've been wearing sweats every single vlog. But yeah, I've got a pretty big bump actually starting already. So this is 15 weeks in what, like a day? But yeah, it's a bump. It's a bump. I just like hope and pray all of this is gonna be great. And like I said, I'll just take it one day at a time and enjoy it as much as I can. Focus and shift my attention to the positive and everything that can go right instead of wrong, which is hard to do when you've seen a lot go wrong. I'm sure that some people probably understand that. And I'm starting to slowly feel like myself. I think the first trimester is always like really hard because you're like really nauseous and stuff. But this pregnancy so far has been pretty okay. Like I haven't been like really bad in terms of nausea. So I've had it okay, but I still feel sometimes like out of sorts. I think my hormones over the past few years have just been doing a million miles an hour up and down and all over the place. So it's taken a while to kind of adjust and make sure that I'm honed in and like focused, and know that some of these times and moments that I have these wild thoughts, or I'm not myself, or I'm feeling down, or all over the place, it's just normal. Like those are my hormones, and I just got to recognize that. Usually I come to terms with that after the fact, but obviously like there's just a lot going on internally right now that I need to like give myself grace. You know, I'm overcoming fears and traumas, and I really don't want to live my life out of fear anymore. And I feel like that's what I've been doing the past few years. After so much has gone on, I've just been kind of unveiled, and I've seen a lot of things that can go wrong. So obviously my brain is just trying to protect itself and using these traumas, I think, sometimes to my disadvantage, because I don't feel like I'm fully living life. So that's something that I've been struggling with, that I haven't even really opened up to you guys about, because I feel like now I have like a filter, because I'm so afraid that I'm gonna say something and it's gonna go all wrong, or like whatever. Like I'm just living out of fear. Obviously that's like the common theme here, is I'm just trying my best to take that fear away, which is something that I've got to like unlearn. And I know that it's just my body protecting itself, protecting me and my feelings and all that. So yeah, it's an exciting time, but I got to remind myself that it's exciting and it's happy, and this is such a blessing. I'm so thankful that God entrusted me with this child, and I just feel very, very happy, and I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to feel that way. So we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna have fun with it. I hope you guys are all safe from the hurricane. I know some of you guys probably live here in the area, so let me know if there's anything I can do to help if you guys are affected by the hurricane. I'd love to like see what we can do together as a community, see what's going on in your community, because just because you're safe, you know, a lot of people get the other end of it. So yeah, I'll leave all the stuff down below if you guys want to help out. But I love you guys so much. I'm gonna continue to vlog here, probably pick up the camera and like actually vlog starting tomorrow. And now that I have nothing to hide, I feel like I can just be myself finally again. I always feel like if I'm hiding something from you guys kind of know it, because I just kind of turn into like, I don't know, a different person. I think this is such a great platform to share these experiences, high or low, and like look back, even just for my children one day, or myself to look back onto one day and learn from and grow and connect with. And I hope that that's what I bring to this platform. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I'll see you in a future vlog.